Okay, so once again, good day everyone. Our topic for today, of course, is the challenges of software design. No, most commonly, no, especially if you are not in the field of designing, no, we may encounter some challenges. No, there are some IT practitioner that they are more particular with hardware. No, they are very good in programming and other part of software design. No, so um, right now, no, mobile app development present certain challenges that can cause potential delays and costly, no, interruption. So software developers must have a solid understanding of what problems may arise during software development and how, and of course, the technical know-how to handle this obstacle in the most efficient and cost-effective way possible. So while building a high-quality product that people want to use is the end goal, it takes time and dedication to reach this outcome. No, the challenges, no, the challenges in the software development process can range from minor issues that can be overcome in a day to a more complex problems that may require weeks or even months of extra work and possibly assistance from a third party. So example challenges in software development include inadequate communication among team members, poor scheduling, and of course, inadequate software testing uh, or testing resulting in bugs and other missed errors. So other challenges that a business may run into developing software include the technology advancement, overtime, limited resources and infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier, the software testing, system and implementation integration. And for give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our first presenter this morning. Go ahead, sir.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Before anything else, I'd like to greet our beloved Professor Doc Marmelo B. Abante for that introduction. So today, before anything else, I'd like to ask, do you see the PowerPoint presentation? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's proceed to the topic. So I'm going to discuss about the challenges of software design. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So let's first define software design. So anyone can give their personal, does anyone can give their personal insight on when you hear the word software design? Anything that comes to your mind or any opinion that can you give is much more welcome. So can anyone recite for us?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I think for me, software design is a process prior to the implementation of the software. You have to create a good process before you proceed with the testing. That's my idea about software design.
Well, thank you for that idea, sir. So anything else? Someone can add any insight for the software design?
Yes, I want to add some.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
For me, software design, it is the first phase of software development, because of course you cannot just develop a software without, analyzing what are the specifications and what's your goal. I mean, para sa ba yung system mo? It's not that like kunwari today naisip mo, ay, I want to build a game, a mobile app game like Temple Run. You cannot just create that without designing it first. Kasi, yun nga, you need to define the scope and limitation and yun nga, yung specification ng ano, dito of software, one of the phase of the software development.
Thank you, ma'am. You already defined software design. So specifically, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So let's proceed to the meaning of software design. So software design responsiveness involves the timeliness of the software products, response to user input, external interface stimuli or interaction with elements of the computing environment. The software structural design must be evaluated to determine if the design can be enhanced to improve the software product's responsiveness to the request actions. So software design, siya yung pinakamukha ng isang software. So in which it makes the system looks presentable. It's it's an external stimuli that interact with the computer environments. Dahil yung software design, connected siya dun sa mga factor wherein yung mga programming languages na ginagamit natin, malaki yung connection niya dun sa sa software design. So then let's proceed to the software development. So anyone can read the can anyone please can you read the software development?
Hello, John Ray.
Hello,
Sorry.
ma'am.
Nakita lang, yung first page lang yung nakikita namin.
Eto,
The
ma'am.
slide is not moving.
Are you sharing your whole screen ba? Or specific slide lang?
A specific
I mean,
slide.
can you try to, share your whole screen para ma-check natin? Baka kasi dalawa yung open mong slides. Kaya na-stuck dito sa isa. Oo.
Nakadalawang naka-dual monitor. Can anyone please teach me how?
Yung share screen below, you see the button. Stop share ka muna. Then
Okay.
you click that again. And then you'll see screen, whiteboard, iPhone. Select mo yung screen and then click the share button, the blue share button.
Yung screen number 1?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Ayan.
Is it
Kita na
visible?
namin. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
No
Thank you, ma'am.
worries.
So, okay. Can anyone please read the software development?
Can I read?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, software development. The purpose of software remains the same today as it was at the beginning of computing. In the 1940s, to automatic the solution of complex using computer. However, the nature of the problems to be solved has changed dramatically, and so the programming techniques employed. Programming techniques have also advanced in the decade that followed the 1940s. Through the use of languages of increasing power and abstraction, instead of manipulating instructions at the level of hardware, programmers specify data and algorithms in terms of the problem domain. Instead of building new standalone systems, software development is often used to enhance a company's enterprise information capabilities by building new functions into an already existing systems to carry out new services.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So software development, as the demand of the user arises to the needs of the quality software, it requires to the evolution of the software. So software standards. From nowadays, kasi the greatest reason why the programming techniques is being initiated to the greatest factor on how we adapt to the changes of the changes of almost halos lahat kasi ng ginagamit natin from now, we are using a software. So when you use Facebook, you are using a software. When you use YouTube, Twitter, and etc. So the demands of creating, designing, and implementing software and deploying and supporting software is highly increasing. So as we increase software demands, we also the software specification also increase to follow through to the requirements of the software application. The because the more complex system problem we encounter nowadays, we're adapting to the programming language that is more compatible from the programming techniques that will satisfy the complex and continuous problem na na-encounter natin sa system. Also, programmers imputed data algorithms that can manifest systematic solution to a software problems. Kasi before, commonly yung mga company, yung mga practices nila before, nagde-develop sila ng system and dinidevelop nila yon. Tapos pag may na-encounter silang error or problem dun sa system, gumagawa ulit sila ng panibago para ma-lessen yung error dun sa previous system. Unlike ngayon, through the modern technology and sa sobrang dami na rin mga programming languages na ginagamit natin, it helps to develop a system and modify, and it can adapt and enhance without deleting previous system. It doesn't affect the existing information in a specific program. So through that, nag-upgrade yung mga system na hindi natin nasa-sacrifice yung mga information na nandun sa existing na system. So does anyone can give additional on what can you understand of the software development? Hello. Oh, no one. So
Hello,
hello, sir.
Esther. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, when I think about software development, I think it is it is a stage, okay, where you plan what you are going to do about the program that you want to develop, okay. So when you're on the software development stage, I think you need to come up with a process, okay, on how you will implement your program. That's my idea about software development.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the information, sir.
You're welcome.
So let's
No.
proceed to the. Does anyone asking?
Yeah. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Just want to add some
Yes.
information regarding on the software development. Actually, this is my self parang pagkakaintindi ko po based dun sa a description and also on my self na experience because you're on the work you related.
Yes.
Actually, software development, I think this is the part of the start before the implementation of the system. This is the part of from the planning, from the design, and also for the when the clients or the end-to-end persons, if they are payag sila dun sa mangyayaring design flow of the systems created by the developer or the business business persons on the development team. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer.
I wanna add more to
Yes, ma'am.
sorry.
Sige, ma'am.
So software development for me, it's a process cycle. Actually, it's a life cycle nga, they call it. Ano, it usually starts from proposal from the business needs kasi it. So we're talking about now, no. Pag merong kailangan si kuwari, let's say sa BDO sa bangko, they are doing their documentation manually, and siyempre nag-a-upgrade nga, we need to like automate it. So kailangan mag-create ng system for that one. And so kailangan mag-usap ni business kasi business function, and then ni technical side. So dun yun sa planning. Tapos analyze nila kung anong pwede, kung anong matatamaan. So step by step kasi siya. So yung like sa sinabi ni Risa, usually start sa planning, then analyzing. Tapos pag okay na, doon na yung papasok na yung creation ng, planning, analyzing, tapos yung design, yung software design. Then after that, yung creation ng software itself. Then after that, testing. Kasi hindi mo naman yun pwedeng paggamit agad without testing. Then after that, pag okay na, no more errors, de-deploy na siya sa production para ma-use na ng BDO employee. And then after that, support, because once you deployed it naman, hindi pa doon natatapos yun eh. Meron pa ring mag-exist na mga issues na si user yung makaka-encounter. So, ayun. Kasi iba yung mindset ng user sa mismong programmer na gumawa. So, after ma-deploy yun, may mga issues pa. So, may support pa din after. Yeah, sorry, haba.
Thank you, ma'am. You pretty much understand the software design. So let's proceed to the another portion of software development. Another factor has arises of profound significance for the software industry, which is the pace of change and introduction of new technologies. The concept of model-derived architecture aims to alleviate this process by focusing developer effort at higher levels of abstraction. In creation of platform-independent models, PIMs, from which version of the system appropriate to particular technologies, languages can be generated semi-automatically using platform-specific models. So, dito sa MDA process, the platform-independent model, it is the concrete platform or concrete blueprint on how they will organize systematically on how they execute the system, in which the platform independent model will have to be transformed to a platform specific model, and it is subdivided into two. And if when it generate a code, it implemented a system platform. Yun yung embodied ng MDA process. So anyone can add on the MDA process platform. Si Ma'am Lovely kanina is raising her hands. May you now speak, ma'am? Oh, I think she did not hear me. So let's proceed to the software development methods. Can somebody please read the software development?
Can I read it?
Sure, yes, sir. Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello?
I can read it if you want.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Software development methods is a systematic means of organizing the process
Process product.
of a software construction. Software development method typically consists of notations of language. It's a describe artifact being product, and second was a process defining the sequence of steps taken to construct and validate artifact in the method. And last is the tools to support the method.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, sa software development methods, systematic means of organizing process. So, this is a process in which dito tayo nagdi-develop ng una, yung mga languages, the notation of the languages na gagamitin natin for a specific system. And we will define yung mga function na gagamitin natin na pwede nating na mare-reflect natin doon sa specific system na gagawin natin. And yung mga sequence na kailangan nating consider para ma-construct at saka yung mga data at factor na magagamit natin to develop a system. And then yung tools, yung maghahanap tayo ng mga na any software na makakatulong in order for us to develop a specific system. So that's at since nag-upgrade tayo ng system, so kasabay nun yung sa development ng system at saka sa pag-increase ng demands ng mga software na ginagamit natin, kailangan din nating i-balance yung mga hardware na ginagamit natin in order for them to balance. Just like yung mga gumagamit ng Adobe, if you are using Adobe products, it consists of medyo mabigat yung mga software na yun. So kaya gagamit ka ng low specs na software, hindi siya makakasabay dun sa demands na kailangan ng specific na software na yun. So kailangan nating i-balance. Dapat ipantay natin yung nire-require ng isang software sa requirements ng hardware na kailangan niya. So let's proceed to the waterfall model. In the waterfall model, the stages of development. This is the stages of development such as requirements definition, design and implementation are separated into complete tasks, which must be fully carried out, signed off before the next task can be started. Each stage products a deliverable, a complete requirements specification, complete system design, which is intended to not need much further revision. So sa waterfall model, hindi ka magpo-proceed sa isang stage hanggat hindi mo nako-comply lahat ng requirements sa isang stage. To be specific, just like the requirements on the higher portion, requirements define the problem, identify the scope of the problem, and develop plan strategy to solve the problem. So in this specific stage, kailangan mo munang ma-fulfill lahat ng hinihingi sa requirements bago ka mag-proceed sa analysis, in which hindi ka magko-continue na mag-proceed sa analysis hanggat hindi mo na-solve lahat ng criteria sa requirements. Sa analysis naman, after natin ma-comply lahat ng kailangan sa requirements, analysis investigate problems to define requirements necessary to solving it. So sa analysis, doon na natin inaalam lahat ng possible na conflict with regards to the system, in which doon na rin tayo nag-a-analyze kung paano natin i-execute yung mga future na errors na maaari nating ma-encounter on the program. So let's proceed to the design. Design, it must be aligned to the analysis na ginawa natin. Design is a solution based upon the requirements. So design, siya yung pinaka mukha ng isang software or ng isang system in which it makes the system more presentable to the user. Then magpo-proceed naman tayo sa code in which lahat ng gagawin nating code, it must be aligned to the design. So any code dapat connected siya sa design na gagawin natin. Code is the implemented program to the design. So after natin ma-satisfy lahat ng program or codes na kailangan dun sa specific na system, kailangan natin siyang i-test to ensure na makukuha natin yung requirements na hinihingi ng isang user or ng isang customer. So after natin ma-require lahat, test, code, design, it should have a maintenance in order to develop and improve, modify a specific system or program. So does anyone can add up to the waterfall model?
Can I add something?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, for waterfall model, this is one of the most common models in software development. But this model actually has disadvantages. So in order for you to every stage of the model, you need to have a concrete and finished product. Like for requirements you should able to define all of the requirements whenever you finish the requirement space. And that yung 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 concept na you have to have a concrete or a finished product in every stage, it's not that helpful in the long run, especially if you're in the middle of coding or building the software. You found out that there are some functionalities that are not specified on the requirements document, and if you have that issue, you need to go back to the requirement space so that you can update that requirement. So it's not that actually flexible. So you cannot just change the documents that you have on the previous stages if you have some issues in the current stage, because it was the waterfall model requirements are actually defined already, and it's kind of like a final, it was signed off already before you go to the previous stage. So it's not that flexible unlike the other models. So I think you will be able to discuss that in your proceeding slide. So yeah, let's see.
Thank you, sir, for that information, sir. So let's proceed to the other types of model, which is the spiral model. Spiral model based on an iteration or of incremental development steps. Each iteration cycle of spiral produces a deliverable such as an enhanced set of models of a system or an enhanced prototype of a system. In each iteration, a review stage is carried out to check that the development is progressing correctly and that the deliverables meet the requirements, unlike the waterfall model. The deliverables produced are only partial and incomplete, are intended to be refined by the further iteration. So, yung pinagkaiba ng spiral model sa waterfall model, sa spiral model, pwede kang mag-proceed as long as nasa-satisfy mo yung ibang pangangailangan ng system. In which, in this diagram, determine objectives. Yung task plan niya, nag-direct agad sa risk analysis and identifying risk, prototype. Tapos yung prototype niya, rumekta agad sa detailed design, code, integration, test, implementation. In which, sa test plan, as long as sa spiral model, nagre-require siya partial lang, pwede mo siyang i-proceed to the next stage in every cycle. Kaso tine-check na yung mga requirements na kailangan hanggang sa ma-fulfill lahat ng needs ng factor to complete a system. So the spiral model, may chance na pwede mong mabalikan lahat, and yung mga requirements na kailangan para sa implementation mo ng system will only the only problem in the spiral model is nagiging paulit-ulit yung process niya. Imbis unlike sa waterfall model, hindi ka magpo-proceed hangga't hindi natatapos yung isang stage. Dito, pwede mo siyang balikan as long as masasatisfy mo yung every stages ng lahat na nire-require sa isang system. So, again, can anyone please add their idea on the spiral model?
Can I add?
Thank you, Ma'am Risa. Miss, yes, you may add here.
For me, the advantage of spiral model is the cost estimation becomes easy as prototype building is done in small fragments. Pang small lang daw siya. Then the disadvantage is it's risky for large projects. Yun lang.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful answer. So, okay, let's proceed to the rational unified process. This is the phases of the development process. The rational unified process define 4 phases in development process. Inception defines of the project, scope, goals of the system, evaluation, its feasibility and general estimate of the project cost, and time. A prototype may be built to assist in checking if the project is viable. The main process in this phase is the requirements definition, producing initial use cases in agreement with the users. So, dito sa phase ng rational unified process, inception, this is the first step or the initial process in which dito natin ini-integrate lahat ng data na kailangan natin in a specific program. So, dito na rin tayo gumagawa ng flow chart in which malalaman natin yung pasikot-sikot ng specific na program na gagawin natin. Kailangan natin yung inception in which para siyang blueprint kung saan ka pupunta para ma-organize mo ng maayos yung isang system na kailangan mong simulan. So let's proceed to the elaboration. Can anyone add in the inception idea? Can anyone add an idea to the inception? That's an hello, Ma'am Risa. Thank you po.
Hi. I think an inception, this is the stage or the initial process wherein the business management will do, wherein parang dito pa lang makoconduct na lahat kung ano yung pinaka expectations or needs ng clients regarding on the system, what they want. So in this process, they do the document process or wherein doon para magkakaroon ng sign in by the on their part, and then the development part, the design, the flow, the process. So I think on that stage, para mapag-uusapan lahat kung ano ine-expect ng systems. Yun lang po.
Thank you, ma'am. So second is the elaboration. Elaboration, requirements analysis and definition of architectural design of the architectural analysis and definition of architectural design. The use of the overall architecture of the system. So in the elaboration, dyan na natin binubuo lahat ng idea in which we will collide to the specific design na ginagawa ng architectural designer. Merong sa isang industry, may kanya-kanya silang sector in which you can elaborate or you can integrate your idea na magko-complement kayong lahat, in which yung pinaka main goal nyo is mai-connect nyo lahat ng systematic or yung program na ginagawa nyo. So yun yung elaboration. I'm asking ulit, can anyone add for the elaboration?
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So here elaboration I think more on sa technical side. Pero syempre need pa rin ng confirmation from the business side eh. So sa technical, mga programmers, architecture para they are in-analyze nila kung anong programming language gagamitin,
Yes, ma'am.
tapos kung yung paano ba? Kasi how can I say this? But ayun, kung anong programming, more on technicalities sa requirements. Ayun, yun. Kung anong programming languages, tapos kung anong design, kung pwede ba siya pwede ba siya sa mobile, web-based lang ba? So more on technical design. Pero syempre yun nga, need pa rin ng consultation kay business side eh. Kasi si business yung gagamit. Ayun.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for that information. So let's proceed to the construction. Design and implementation through the development of prototypes, culminating in the deliverable of beta version of the system to the users. So in these phases of rational unified process, the in these phases dito na tinetest yung capabilities ng isang software, ng isang system, in which have you familiar ba kayo sa mga games in which bago nila i-launch yung specific na games na yun, nagkakaroon sila ng specific numbers or specific target na mga users, in which there are just range of numbers in which they can monitor. That is what we call a beta testing, and we're in mamamonitor lahat ng possible na errors or wrong function na pwedeng mangyari sa isang system. Yung prototypes na yun, makakatulong siya in order to improve kapag naglabas na tayo ng what we call this, magla-launch na tayo ng pinaka-system natin, pinaka-final system natin. And it will help na makakonect tayo sa mga nararanasan na problem ng mga users sa ginagawa nating system. Malaki yung factor na makakatulong yun para ma-improve natin yung system, kasi sila mismo yung magbibigay ng insight kung ano yung problema ang nararanasan nila dun sa system mo. It will give you the easiest way to connect to your user para malaman mo yung specific na problem na nakikita nila. Kasi on the programming side, meron tayong hindi nakikitang factor na user lang yung nakakaalam. So kapag nag-conduct tayo ng beta testing, mas malalaman natin yung mga mali na pwede mga error dun sa system na ginagawa natin. So anyone can elaborate more?
Hello,
The
good morning.
construction. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Chen,
Okay.
good morning. Bali, ano ko lang, add ko lang siguro.
Sige, sir.
I think during the software testing, parang before you have a testing with the user, parang meron pa mga software tester na nagte-test ng system before nila ipa-testing sa users. So, parang siya, it's a good thing kasi nasasala na ng mga software tester according to the users preferences yung system before nila ipa-testing sa users, sa actual users. So, tawag dito. Yung users, so pagka pinatesting na nila sa users, parang minimal na lang yung mga changes na kailangan. Kasi parang before they let the users test the system, dumaan muna siya sa mga software tester according to the preferences ng users para if ever meron changes, parang minimal na lang. Para ayun think ko, idea ko about software testing bago ma-implement yung actual system. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. That's accurate idea, sir. Thank you. So let's proceed to the fourth phase of the rational unified process, the transition. So at this phase, testing, correction of detected by the users, roll out of a new version until a production version is reached. So at this phase, dito na pina-finalize lahat ng nakitang error dun sa beta version, in which niro-roll out lahat, nire-recall nila lahat ng possible na possible codings na kung saan nagkaroon ng maling execution ng command. So at this phase then, dito na rin nire-release yung pinaka-final phase ng isang system, in which dito na ila-launch at ipapagamit sa mas maraming user yung isang system sa production version na mismo ng dito sa may transition. So anyone ulit can add to the transition phase ng rational unified process? Yes, Ma'am Katrina, ma'am.
Ayun, yun nga. It's connected sa construction and transition are connected. So going back dun sa construction, prototyping, and then you're gonna build prototype system or yung beta app mo nga. Ang magte-test nun usually kasi sa technical side, i-test din nila yon. Pag good na kasi sa kanila yon, ipapatest nila kay business side. Pero hindi sa lahat. Kasi let's say nga, going back to sa example ko kay BDO, no? So si BDO, let's say may 50 employees siya. So ang pwede lang sa beta testing, ang pwede lang mag-test doon is limited lang, like 5 tao lang muna. Tapos after doon, pag may na-encounter na error or may suggestion or may gusto pang ipa-change, kasi hindi lang kasi error doon eh. Kasi doon na lalabas yung sila user, dapat ganito, mas madali kung ganyan. Diyan nila na mag-erase sila ng input nila. Tapos diretso na sa transition. Yun nga, correction ng mga errors, tapos testing again. Kapag approve na ulit yon, di ba sa transition, magbabalik na naman ulit din sa beta testing or testing ulit. Pag approve na sa business side yon, tsaka lang nila i-deploy sa system error rollout.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that specific answer, ma'am. Ma'am Risa, can you add up, ma'am?
Yeah. I think on the transition, for me as a tester, actually I'm a QA tester. So from our side, from the QA or on the test servers, it's the first stage, the test servers, wherein all kailangan lahat ng issues is makita by the system. Regardless it is P1, P2, or not actually higher plus issue on the system. Then after that, we do on the staging part, we transition it on the staging servers, wherein also the developer need to test if ano po yung na-encounter namin dun sa test servers. And then after that, once lahat na ng issues na na-encounter and na document na namin and parang na-justify kung ano yung nakitang issue on the staging servers, is we do to the transition to live servers wherein their UAT testing, which is parang mag-a-act na kami as a client. We did first is yung parang maging satisfied as a users. We don't think na kami is technical persons. We need to think na as a users lang kami. So on this part, on the live, dapat mas syempre friendly users. System will do mas maayos yung process, wala kaming makitang error. So from that stage, para makikita namin na okay and going to we can launch the system successfully.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am, for that answer, ma'am. So let's proceed to the extreme programming. This is the extreme programming tries to minimize the complexity of the following. a particular development process instead of prescribing a rigid set of development step milestone. It emphasizes a number of practices. So extreme programming, it indicates the development process in which maraming in this phase kasi in this in this mild steps ng yung mga specific practices ng ginagawa natin. Just like the realistic planning, customer makes business decision about the system. The developer make the technical decision. Plans are reviewed and revised as necessary. So in this case, customer, as we all know, customer is always right. So as we programmers, we must meet on the demands of the customers halfway in order for them to satisfy kailangan natin i-satisfy yung pangangailangan ng customer kasi they are the one who will be the possible users of our system. So in this case, kailangan magkasundo yung customers to the developer of the system in which it develops ties that will help the development and the progress of a certain system. So anyone can add up realistic planning to the realistic planning. Any other person, please? Ma'am Risa? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am
Hello,
Risa? Oh, ma'am.
you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm just lang dun sa term na customer is always right. Actually, on the system, hindi talaga sila laging tama. Kasi based lang naman po sa aking trabaho is magbe-base ka kasi dun sa system. First, kung may gusto sila, kasi ano siya magiging enhancement siya. Parang ganun. Magiging enhancement siya if may gusto si customers. It will base kung ano yung matatamaan, kung ano yung system na matatamaan sa enhancement nila, or kung may gusto silang bago, it will do the change system analysis again from the party developers, kung ano yung magiging cost on that part. So para lang naman po sa akin, hindi ko din po sure kung tama yung pagkait, hindi.
I guess on my end,
Yes,
Risa.
sir. No.
Yeah. Just to add to Risa, I don't think that customers are not always right. Sometimes on like on making business decisions, or in my experience, some of the business stakeholders from people in the business, whenever they requested something, we have to analyze if that's feasible or not and what is the impact. So customers have many suggestions, but we need to see to it that it will have a big impact on the business or on the users in order before we implement it first. So if that request actually, it's just a simple request that users are, they just want it to be there, but not all of the users wants it. So that's when we can decide that it's not, we will not work on that. So maybe sometime whenever many users will request it. So it comes down to what impact that that the request of the customers has before we accept that requirement and build something on it. So that's what I'm thinking. So, and just to add here is realistic planning. I guess I could compare it with agile. Are you going to discuss agile, Chandra?
No, sir. Sige. You can proceed,
Oh,
sir.
it's not part of
It's
agile.
not part, sir.
It's a part. That's part. Yeah. Okay. I guess I just have to wait with agile then. So.
Agile, sir. I think it's not included na, sir?
Is that included?
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, it's like yeah. So yeah, just
But
in case you want to know
that should be
another software
part of the
development.
SDLC, sorry, software development, di ba? O,
Yes,
o
it's
Oo.
baka
part
ibang reporter
of
na yata.
Very hard. Medyo advanced na
can you
yata
please
eh.
repeat? Agile ba?
agile
Agile.
testing,
Agile.
agile system.
Agile agile model. So it's another software development model.
It's a
If you're
counterpart of waterfall, I think.
yeah, counterpart ng waterfall. It's not hindi mo siya na-encounter dyan rin.
Yes.
Sir, you can proceed na. Medyo hindi ko siya
Eh,
na.
yeah, I guess yeah. I
Actually, yung sa
can
spiral part, na-expect ko na
uh
mababanggit niya ay agile din.
oh, okay.
Sa
Pero
spiral.
yeah, I guess this realistic planning is like I can compare it with agile. So whenever we build something, instead of going through the traditional waterfall process, like getting requirements, having too much meetings, the way that we develop is we want to the developers and the business stakeholders are meeting together and collaborate and decide what things should be done. So for the customers, they will decide um, something from the business side. Then the developers is there also, and they will convert that requirements into technical details. Simple as that. So yeah, this I think this planning, realistic planning, is kind of like an agile to me. So
Sure, thank you, sir. Thank you for that add up information, sir. Ma'am Risa, are you raising your hand?
No, no,
Your,
no. Sorry. That's it. Thank you.
okay.
January, I think you are on mute.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So let's proceed to the small releases. So release a useful system quickly and release updates at a frequent interval. So in this space, sa small release, nagre-release lang tayo ng partial lang ng part of the system in which unti-unti natin siyang the whole function na capabilities ng isang system is unti-unti nating nilalabas through a frequent through sudden portion of time in which sa ganong paraan kasi it helps to develop na makita natin yung iba pang portion na hindi natin masyadong makikita natin yung ibang portion ng program na hindi natin nabibigyan ng ng pansin or na, di- na tag ang tawag dito na yun. Can somebody please add up? Using words. Yes,
I
ma'am
think what
Lisa.
you're trying to say is
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
they must put an emphasis on that particular process.
Okay, okay. Yes, sir. Ma'am Lisa, you
Yeah. I think the small release. I think this is the part of updating for the like enhancement. It is when it have enhancement on the system. Yun ba yun? Yun ba yung part?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I think
Enhancement.
for the small release is for the small enhancement. Yun nga, if hindi siya mag-affect doon sa parang pinaka-system, like example, there's an issue like UI. So it's not hindi siya makaka-apekto doon sa pinaka-system, di ba? So it's just an UI display sort of one. So it can like makakapag-release sila at makakapag-proceed sila dun sa system, even though na mag-update sila na kaunting part. The small enhancement.
Yan, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for that answer. Parang onti lang yung classmate ko. Tapos, yung, yung iba, can somebody cooperate, please?
Ayaw mo na sa akin.
Okay lang naman,
Sawa
okay
na
lang.
si
So,
Katrina.
Tama ka lang.
medyo active lang sila, Ma'am Katrina, tsaka Ma'am Risa, tsaka si Sir IC. Thank you. Thank you for the cooperation. So let's proceed.
Sorry. Sige.
I
Sige,
think
ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Sir Pantalian is raising his hand.
Ay,
Jan Ray.
di walang nakikita.
Sir, thank you, sir. You, Sir Pantalian, sir, you may now speak, sir.
Yeah, sorry, no, classmates. Yeah. Uh, well, small release or a release is a like in an agile coach. No, it is a release. No, it's an variety of iterations of the system, depending to the updates. No. This is the precedence of the alpha and beta testing before the final versions, the system, which is acceptable to the business itself or the client. Just my just as my opinion.
I wanna add more.
Based
Sorry.
sa systems development proprietary softwares na which we have in. So yun lang po.
Thank you, sir, for that information, sir. Ma'am
I
Katrina,
want to so for this one, much better sana talaga kung na-discuss mo yung agile or kahit napakita mo yung ano niya, no. So to understand this one better, yung agile kasi nahahati siya sa mga sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. So when we say sprint, isang waterfall siya. Kanina napakita mo yung waterfall, 'di ba? So pag okay na or may na-encounter pang error doon, pupunta ng sprint 2, may release na naman. Tapos pag mayroon na namang error sa sprint 3, may release na naman. So yun yung sinasabing small releases. So ayun. Kung sana talaga napakita mo yung agile. Pero ayun nga, yung small release every after may changes, merong testing. So basically, sa agile, marami siyang testing. Kasi ayun, unlike waterfall, mostly sa waterfall, bandang dulo na patapos na Pero dito, parang, kuwari, ang target mo sa makatapos ng system is 6 months. Let's say, every 1 month, dapat meron kang prototype na mapapatest mo. Tapos, pag may changes, sa second month naman, meron ka na namang updated na prototype. Hanggang sa ma-reach niyo yung time, 6 months, okay na siya. Pwede na siyang ma-release. Ayun.
thank you, ma'am, for that. Sige, Sir IC, you can add up, sir.
Just to add, Katrina actually explained how agile works. So, but for me, sa agile for me is like it's having more flexibility. So if you have something that if you have so every sprint you will have a list of different tasks. So our sprint actually lasted every 2 weeks. So in that 2 week we'll need to complete all of our tasks, and that tasks are consists of different software functionalities and something. And what the beauty of agile is we have the flexibility on doing everything. So we can just plan on the proposals, but it's up to the developer who may easier approach. He can actually tell to the leads that you have another or better way, then we can agree with that. And that's the flexibility that we have. And yeah, I guess too much testing as well is also evident in agile. So every time that you finish something, someone needs to test it, like doing QA testing and user acceptance testing before you deploy it to production. So yeah, yun yung testing mechanism sa amin. And just to add, in the company that I'm working with, we are actually using an advanced way of agile. So if you're familiar with SAFe, any one of you familiar with SAFe? SAFe, scaled agile framework. So that's a new way of doing agile. So we still need to follow sprints, but SAFe is actually working for large enterprise companies such as my client, and there is some kind of release trains which consists of different departments, and those different departments collaborate with each other to do some collaborations with software projects, because in our company there are too many softwares and they're kind of interdependent with each other, and we need to have some integrations with them. So in one department, or in one division of our company, there is kind of like release train. And before we so every quarter we have this session called project increment planning, or PA planning, where we are planning for tasks for a quarter. And that PA planning actually consists of in 3 days. So it's a 3-day planning session where all of the departments will work together and plot out the plans for the next quarter. And that plan is plotted to different sprints. So in each PI sprint, it consists of 5 sprints and 1 sprint for innovation and planning. And by the end of the sprint, we were able to complete some kind of functionality that goes across that goes across different systems. So yeah, just to share what safe means. So yeah.
I think what Mr. IC said, he just already described what is metaphor is. It's a collaboration. Thank you for that, Sir IC. So metaphor, all programmers should share an understanding of the purpose and global strategy of the system being developed. So yung pinaka-perfect example nga nito, yung agile, in which bago ka mag-proceed sa isang am I right? Sa isang flow, sa isang bago ka mag-proceed sa isang wave ng waterfall, kailangan mo munang matapos at magkapag-collaborate ka muna sa ibang developer din, in which it will help you to enhance more or modify a specific system. So yun. So anyone can. So let's
Mr. Presenter, honestly, no, I appreciate your efforts, no, the way and how your classmate participate in your discussion. But I really want you to keep on going, and if somebody or anyone has any suggestion, they just simply put their additional inputs in our chat box, no, for us not to use a 3-hour time for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Doc. So let's proceed to the simplicity. Design everything to be as simple as possible instead of preparing for the future complexity. So the more simple the program is, the more it helps the user to use the specific system, in which it helps them to easily access a specific system. Yun yung specific yung practices na nangyayari sa simplicity, in which need lang natin mag-design na on a more simple way in which it can interact the user. So, okay, let's proceed to the testing. Testing, both customer and programmer write tests. The system should frequently tested. So in testing, customer and programmer collaborated in order to determine the specific problem or error that undergo in a specific system, wherein they will collaborate to the needs of the customer, and the programmer will integrate the the demands of the customer to a specific function that we're going to initiate in a specific program. So yun lang. So let's proceed to the refactoring. Refactoring. The system should be restructured whenever necessary to improve the code and eliminate duplication. So the system should restructure. So as at as time pass by, as we launch a certain system, inevitably it will always there will always comes an error that will occur in a specific system or specific program. It's unavoidable. So as error as the error instructed our specific system, we must improve our code and try to enhance and modify our system in order to lessen the error that we're encountering in a specific system. So let's proceed to the free programming. Put programmers together in pairs. Each pair writes codes on the computer. So in pair programming, I think the the collaboration or the chemistry of us of a programmer will help to to determine in what in kasi kapag 'di ba na-experience natin before, meron tayong mga kaibigang programmer din na kino-consult natin na if if the program that we write is have the right function sa mga ini-integrate nating system. So ganun yung pair programming, at I think it it helps to it helps mapabilis yung development ng isang system. So proceed tayo sa collective ownership. All programmers have permission to change any codes as necessary. So programmers technically has the capacity to change any code that requires in a specific situation that will help them to minimize the error that they will encounter at a certain point of time. So let's proceed to the continuous integration. Whe- Whenever a task is completed, build a complete system containing this part and test it. So continuous integration, as long as the system, once the system is completed, we must maintain to to see any part of the system that can be improved or enhanced at this sa makakatulong yon in order para ma-test natin yung ibang factor ng system na hindi natin masyadong nabibigyan ng halaga or pansin. So let's proceed to the 40-hour week. Don't work extreme hours to try to compensate to the planning errors. So in this syempre the more na-stress tayo. So we must ito yung mga programming practices na dapat hindi natin we must take a break in order to run a specific integration ng isang para makapag-isip tayo ng maayos. We must compensate we must try to yan sa extreme hours compensation. So let's proceed on the on-site customers. An actual customer of the system should be available at all times. At all time. Somebody's raising their hand. Is so on-site customer. An actual customer of the system should be available at all times. So since kagaya ngayon sinabi ni Ma'am Risa, an on-site customers, commonly sila yung mga QS. Sila yung unang nagte-test ng mga system na ini-integrate sa isang industry in order para sa kanila muna mag-integrate lahat ng possible error na ma-encounter sa system. So let's proceed to the coding standard. Follow standard for self-documenting code. So in creating a codes, we must follow standard in documenting a certain code. So in this practices, it helps na kapag pinakita mo yung code na ginagawa mo sa isang programmer din, madali niyang maiintindihan. Unlike kapag hindi natin sumunod, merong tinatawag na spaghetti codes in which hindi masyadong nakasalansan ng maayos yung mga codings. So, ganon. Siguro, kailangan nating sumunod sa coding standard para kapag may ibang programmers na titingin ng system natin, madali nilang mako-cope up o maintindihan yung system na ginagawa natin. Let's proceed to the software development steps. A number of stages are typically present in any software development projects, regardless of the development model and methods chosen. We will illustrate these stages in the example project. I forgot to download kasi meron akong system before. Thesis siya ng kapatid ko. Parang virtual reality siya ng bahay ni Rizal. In which, hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa matatakal natin siya dito, yung 4 na development steps ng software development step. Kasi yung system na ginawa namin in which hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa bahay ni Rizal para makita yung loob ng bahay. So, yung sa feasibility analysis, ang ginawa namin, pumunta kami sa mismong bahay, sinukat namin yung lahat, in-analyze namin lahat ng possible na makikita sa loob ng bahay. Tapos in-integrate namin yung mga gamit in which kapag tinutukan mo siya ng may key function dun sa VR wherein kapag natutukan mo siya ng a certain point, magsasalita yung kung anong part siya ng history yung nandun sa bahay ni Rizal. So, ganun yung ginawa namin sa feasibility analysis in which kailangan mong alamin lahat ng technical background dun sa specific system na gagawin natin. Yun. So, let's proceed to the requirements definition. So, sa requirements definition naman, dito na mai-embodied lahat ng data, lahat ng kailangan natin in order to comply dun sa system na gagawin natin. Dito na ma-define lahat ng kailangan natin para ma-proceed tayo dun sa system na gagawin natin. So, analysis. So, sa feasibility analysis, parang initial lang siya na analysis. So, parang sa analysis na to, most commonly sa mismong program na mismo yung analysis niya in which it integrates the error that can exist in a certain system or program. So, sunod yung design. Siyempre, pag nag-come up na tayo sa analysis, yung design na gagawin natin is magko-construct tayo ng design na magko-complement dun sa feasibility analysis na ginawa natin at saka sa sa pinaka scope ng system na gagawin natin. So, let's proceed to the software design challenges. Sorry for that. So let's proceed to the software design challenges. Today, the software design phase has evolved from an ad hoc and sometimes overlooked phase to an essential phase of the development lifecycle. Furthermore, the increasing complexity of today's system has created a set of particular challenges that make it hard for software engineers to meet the continuous customer demand for higher software quality. These challenges have prompted software engineers to pay closer attention to the design process to better understand, apply, and promulgate well-known design principles, processes, and professional practices to overcome these challenges. So sa part ng software design, siyempre maraming as the software as the software design phase has evolved from different complexity on today's system, we created a particular challenges that makes it makes it hard for the software engineers to meet the continuous customer demand for higher software quality. So these challenges has prompted software engineers to pay closer attention to the design process to better understand and apply through promulgate a certain promulgate ano ba yan? Major promulgate major challenges includes the volatility, design process quality issues, usability, security, distributed software development, efficient allocation of human resources to develop tasks, limited unreasonable expectation and schedule, fast changing technology, and accurate transformation from software requirements to a software product. So let's proceed to the software design in the requirements, volatility, process, technology, the ethical and professional practices, and the managing design influences. So requirements volatility. Major reason for the complexity of software project is constant change of the requirements when designed properly. Software can be modified or extended easily. However, when designed poorly, modified software can become overwhelming and lead to all sorts of complex problems. So sa requirements volatility, dapat pag magde-design pa lang tayo on a specific system, kailangan systematic. So, doon sa software develop, doon sa na-discuss natin kaninang software development step, dapat sundin natin yung systematic way na yon. In order for us, it help us na hindi magkakaroon ng further error sa mga susunod na ano. Kasi pag na-design natin siya ng hindi maayos, merong hidden error na maaring mag-occur dun sa specific system. So let's proceed to the process. Software engineering is a process-oriented field. Software process allows engineers to required to develop software solution, which is schedule and cost constraint. Therefore, at the core of every software developed company, there should be a sound, well understood, and consistent process for software development. So sa process, this is the exact pacing of how or where your system is going through. It indicates the function that can be delivered in a certain system, the capabilities and the benefits that can give the software can the system can give to a specific customer. So sa process din, Oh. So sa process, it is the core of every development company. So sa process dito nangyayari lahat ng development on a specific system in which dito na nag-i-interact lahat ng factor in a programming languages tsaka yung mga yung mga consideration na kailangan para sa data gathering ganun yon doon nakapaloob yung process. So let's proceed to the technology. The technology software is meant to be everywhere, from healthcare system, education, defense, and every ubiquitous devices. Software is required to operate on a massive and always evolving technology landscape. Besides the operating environment, the technology for designing and implementing today's software system continues to evolve to provide improved capabilities. So, malaking factor yung technology in software development. So, sa technology, we pattern ourselves to the emerging technology into the latest trend that technology is arising. So, dun dun lang tayo sumusunod sa as the software requires the highest quality that system or software can give to a users. We must follow through the technology that existing at a certain point of time in which it will help us to enhance specific specific factors of specific factors just like the healthcare system at education and also in defense. So let's proceed to the ethical and professional practices. Designers create blueprints that drive the construction of the software during this creation process. Designers are required to determine how design decisions affect the environment and the people that use the software. In many cases, the software development process is traditionally carried out under tight schedule constraint. Inherently, all phases of the development lifecycle suffer from this, including the design phase. This creates external pressure that can lead designers to deviate from the normal design approach to meet this demand, which can have catastrophic consequences. The ethical and professional practices, it help us to makakatulong yung mga practices na ginagawa natin in creating a system to develop in a fast-paced environment yung software na dinidevelop natin sa at systematically mami-minimize natin yung possible error na pwede nating ma-encounter through the use of the professional practices na pwede nating matutunan sa iba't ibang programming colleagues na pwede nating na pwede nating collaborate on a specific industry. So let's proceed to the managing design influences. Design are shaped by many different influences from stakeholders, the development organization, and the other factors. These influences can have cyclical effects between the system in external influences, such that external factors affects the development of the system. The system affects its external factors. So managing design influences. So sa customer, the and the top management who will sila yung nagpapagawa ng system. Malaki yung factor na kailangan nilang na naibibigay nila in developing a certain system because sila yung nag-indicate ng mga features na pwede nating ma-integrate in designing a specific system. So yun, let's proceed to the challenges of software design. These are the design is a tough problem in which this is design we encounter many problem in creating a design. So it's typically a critical part of creating a system in which we must designate specific uh, kailangan nating mag-create ng tamang plano in order to create a design of a specific system para hindi siya mag-integrate ng mga future errors. Design is a sloppy process. So as we design, it's dun nga sa mga diniscuss nating waterfall, agile, marami yung prosesong pinagdadaanan ng design. So talagang mahirap, maraming kailangan i-consider bago matapos yung specific na process sa pagki-create ng isang design. So, design is about trade-offs and priorities. So in a specific design, we must follow the kagaya nga dun sa sa spiral, merong specific na priorities in which merong certain point ng implementation na kailangan mo munang lagpasan para ma-proceed mo ng paunti-unti yung isang specific na design. So design involves restriction. So it's restriction are the possibilities with software design to narrow down the inputs that software can have. So it helps us. The software does everything which is to benefited from to the people. So there maraming restriction na pwedeng ma-create in creating a design. Depende yun sa mapapansin ng user. Doon, most especially doon sa beta testing, I guess. So design is non-deterministic. Design is a heuristic process. So in these two, the design change themselves according to the requirements. So sa as syempre hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon kapag nagawa mo na yung system mo, hindi siya magtatagal for a long period of time. Kailangan mo pa rin siyang i-improve or kailangan mo mag-maintenance dun sa specific system na yun in order to adapt to the latest system na nag-exist din. Design is emergent. So sa every design dapat kaya niyang mag-integrate sa iba pang matagal nang nag-exist na system. Dapat when we're creating a design, they don't spring fully to someone's brain. They evolve, improve through design reviews, discussion, writing codes, and revising the code. So this software design challenges will help us to give us the key in creating specific in creating our software in an organized manner. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. No, thank you, Sir Al Mireno, no, for giving us review on the basic points of software engineering. Okay, again, I'll just want to reiterate once again that software development, of course, is a set of and activities no, dedicated to process of creating, designing, deploying, and supporting software. Because the software itself is the set of instruction or programs that tell a computer what to do. So it is independent of hardware and makes computers programmable. Okay, so we have system software, programming software, and application for software. And right now, no, we are embracing the use or creating an embedded software, no, because embedded system software is used to control machines and devices not typically considered computers, no, like telecommunications, networks, cars, industrial robots, and more, no, that this device and their software can be connected as the part of the Internet of Things, no. So software development is primarily no, nabubulol ako, primarily conducted, no, by programmers, no, software engineers, software developers, and these rules interact and overlap, and the dynamics between them vary greatly across development departments and communities, no. So we are all familiar with programmers, no, the software engineers, software developers, and so on. Now, a while ago, our presenter mentioned about the software development process, wherein, of course, in developing software, typically involves the selecting a methodology, no. So to establish a framework, no, which is the steps of software development are applied. So a while ago, it also presented and described an overall work process, no, or roadmap of the project. So methodologies can include, a while ago, no, a majority of you are looking for agile development, DevOps, no, rapid application development, yung RAD, scaled agile framework, waterfall, and others, no. So the most important things, of course, is we look into the gathering requirements, no, for us to understand the documents, what is required by users and other stakeholders, no. It is very important. Choosing or building an architecture, this will be the underlying structure with which the software will operate. Developing a design, no, around solutions to the problems presented by requirements, often involving process models, and of course the storyboards, no. In building a model with a modeling tool that use a modeling language like SysML or UML to conduct early validation, prototyping, or simulation of the design. Then of course the next phase, of course, is the constructing code. Then after that, testing, managing configuration and defects. After that, we may proceed to the deploying, no? Deploying the software for use and responding to and resolving user problem. Then after that, we look into the migrating of data, no? Migrating data to the new or updated software from existing application or data sources if necessary. And of course, managing and measuring the project, no, to maintain quality in delivery over the application lifecycle, and to evaluate the development process with models such as capability, maturity model. Can you hear me, class?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes
Okay,
po.
okay. Now,
Yes po.
when it comes to the software development, no, process, it always considered that it must be fit into application lifecycle model, no. This will be the ALM, because let's say for example in IBM, no, they have a solutions for superset of the what we call application lifecycle management, no, that enables the management of parallel mechanical, electrical, and software developments. Same, no? Same process, no? Requirements analysis, specification, design and development, testing, deployment, and maintenance and support. So software development is also important because it is pervasive, no? Software has emerged as a key differentiator, no, in many products, no? Sabi ko nga kanina, from cars to washing machines to thermostat, with growing Internet of Things concerning them. No? So I think you are familiar with different like soul machines, no, and some other applications of IoT. No, now the main topic of our presenter actually is the challenges. No? What are the challenges? Because I started with the challenges because I see to it that since majority of you are graduated with BSCS, BSIT, and BSIS, you are totally familiar with different agile infrastructure. You done already with your system analysis design. So therefore, you have an software engineering during your college days or undergraduate program. So I really want to start with the challenges in software development because during our undergraduate program, we are not totally particular actually with the challenges. No? We are more particular, okay, as much as we could develop this project, that's it. No? Siguro kung mayroon mang talagang particular sa detalye, yun na talaga yung mga programmer. Pero during our time, na ang available naman ng time namin, Visual Basic 6.0 pa no? During our time. Wala pang Java noon. We are good in Pascal programming and C language at the same time, no? That's why I really want to start this course or this subject into software, the challenges in software development. And we need to accept the fact that at present, no, we are all, no, more or looking forward with mobile app application or mobile app development. So as I stated earlier during my introduction that certain challenges that can cause potential delays and costly interruption, of course, in mobile development, no, the software development must have a solid understanding of what problems may arise during software development and know how to handle these obstacles in the most efficient and cost-effective way. Lagi po nating inaano yan, no, na we look into solve specific issues or concern in a most efficient and cost-effective way as possible. No? So while building a high-quality product or software that people want to use in the end goal, it takes time and dedication to reach this outcome. Okay? So challenges in software development process can range from minor issues that can be overcome in a day or to more complex problems that may require weeks or even months of extra work and possibly assistance from a third party. No? A while ago, I've mentioned already some example of challenges in software development include inadequate communication, no, which is too important among team members, poor scheduling, and inadequate software testing, resulting in bugs and other missed error. Okay, so other challenges that a business may run into when developing software include the technology advancement, wherein this technology also discussed with our presenter earlier, because rapid advancement technology can also cause challenges for software developers. Let's say, no, at present, no, I'm also, actually, I'm not handling undergraduate program na, no, more on grad school lang handle ko, no, DIT, no, PhD IT, MIT, MSAS at the same time. No, most commonly, I'm always informing my students, you are now using MySQLite for your database in your mobile development. And your target is 1 year to accomplish this project. Did you think that MySQL or SQLite is still capable to handle loads or capable to handle the database of your development 1 year from now? Because as I mentioned, rapid advancement technology is a cost, no? Challenges for software developers. No? So as technology continues to change and evolve to an unprecedented rate, developers are pressured to leverage this up and coming technologies. Not only is this expected by consumers, but it is also essential for businesses that want to stay ahead of the competition, because the technology sector is highly competitive and business must take new technologies into consideration when developing new products or services. Failure to do so could result in competitors taking the lead in making use of this advancement first. Alam po natin yan. Especially presently, majority of our classmates are working in a big or in a large company, no, IT company, because As technology advances over time, software developers often run into issues stemming from legacy system integration limitation. And these limitations can cause delays in the development and deployments and possibly lost time due to infrastructure modernization. So to avoid this issue, businesses should consider acquiring customized software, no? Which has the ability to grow with the needs and requirements of their IT infrastructure. The ability to avoid issues which arise from the advancement of technology allow businesses, no, to remain competitive when developing new products and services. No? Because another thing is the overtime. For some developers, no, creating new software requires an environment that support concentration and productivity. So when software developers experience excessive stress in the workplace, software quality can fall. Alam natin yan. Or can fail. No? One of the biggest contributor to stress is overtime. Okay, so the result, no, was a higher number of defects recorded on each product or production release. Overtime can have a negative impact on productivity and can actually be a time waster if low productivity is sustained. It can also lower the quality of the final product, which can negatively affect the business brand and reputation. No? Another challenge, no, is the limited resources and infrastructure. Let's say, for example, after 2 years, no, you wanted to, of course, kahit hindi mo gusto, but you need to develop your own software or as proposal for your capstone project. Let's say, you wanted to develop an application intended for PLMON. But how about the resources and infrastructure? How about if there's a limited resources and infrastructure? So challenges can also occur in software development when business do not have the resource necessary to execute projects in an effective manner. Because businesses may not have access to high-performance software development tools or may experience improper connectivity or networks. So some businesses may not own powerful computing platforms or could have inadequate data storage capabilities. So when business face limited resources and infrastructure, it can lead to challenges, no, that impact the final product or software. In some cases, having limited resources and infrastructure can also negatively affect developer productivity and performance. Alam po natin yan, especially yung mga nasa programming firm ngayon or nasa IT industry ngayon na classmate natin. No? Then after that will be the software testing. I'm happy that somebody from you are working as a software quality quality tester. No? Of course, they shared a lot, no? And I appreciate, no? So the software testing process can also present certain challenges to software development teams. Alam ni Miss Quality Assurance yan. Because interpersonal conflicts between members of the testing team can occur due to different personalities, no? Difference in job roles and general job stress. If not properly handled, this issue can negatively impact the project and its outcome. So to avoid interruptions to mobile software development, software testing teams must gain a clear understanding of what problems may arise during the project and brainstorm ways of how to best handle certain issues. It is also a good idea to put together an experienced DevOps team, no, whose sole responsibility is to handle the testing phase of the software. Kasi in some other agency or company, parang alam niyo yung multitasking, no? Pero syempre pag sinabi nating IBM, pag sinabi nating Accenture, automatic, meron talaga silang separate people, no? Separate teams na duly sole responsible for the testing phase of the software. Another thing is the system and application integration. Yung laging ang tanong ko nga kapag nagpa-panel ako sa defense, in a graduate school. How about the operability? How about the migration of your data from the old system to the other? No, the flexibility, no, and so on. Because businesses have access to numerous system application and technologies that can be useful during the software development process. However, most software developers find that integrating a custom or third-party software application such as website, no, ERP systems, or inventory management database can prove to be highly complex. No, alam natin yan. In addition to lengthening the span of the project, integrated systems and application may be hidden until the end of the project. And this can result in delays, additional costs, and possibly of lower quality product. Maybe lagi naman sinasabi niyan, kasi confidential siya. No? So to help avoid these issues, it is important to have an understanding of end user requirements and take the time to research new technologies that can help achieve optimal integration. Okay? So when developing software, many businesses are in hurry to get the project completed and on the market. Unfortunately, there may be challenges along the way that results in delays or unexpected expenses. While challenges in software development are not always avoidable, they do not have to have catastrophic results. So by reaching out to industry professional during software development, businesses can achieve greater success and help ensure that their software is released on time and in budget. Lagi po yan. This will be, kahit saan ka magtrabaho, no, they are always looking forward, no, that you can achieve greater success and help ensure that their software is released on time and on budget. So I think that's it for this topic. Is there somebody who wanted to add on or to give some additional inputs on what I have mentioned? Or you are already satisfied to my discussion and to the discussion, of course, of our presenter?
Thanks, sir.